Man, listen. The streets can't stop talking right now because one of the most shocking moments in Chicago rap history just went down, and fans are losing their minds. Lil Durk, the voice of the trenches, was spotted inside that courtroom, and what he saw had him breaking down in real time. Cameras weren't even supposed to be rolling, but a leaked clip hit the internet. And it shows OTF Vonni's, Durk's own blood, his family, his brother, in everything sitting on that stand and dropping names. The same Vonni who always claimed loyalty, the same one who screamed OTF till the end. Suddenly talking like an open book in front of the judge. You can literally see Durk's face change in the clip. He went from stone cold to holding his head in his hands, and for a split second it looked like he wiped away a tear. Fans are replaying it frame by frame, debating whether it was sweat, whether it was stress, or whether it was crying in court watching his own brother snitch. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided, and the whole OTF camp is in shock. So what really happened? Why did Vonni flip? And how will this shake the entire empire? Buckle up, this drama is only getting started. The courtroom was packed. The air so thick, you could feel the tension pressing down on everybody inside. Reporters lined the back wall. Security guards stood stiff in every corner. And in the front row sat Lil Durk, shoulders hunched, hoodie low, eyes burning with worry. This wasn't just another day in court. This was family business being put on public display. OTF Vonni, the same cousin who had ridden with him through block after block, the same one who called him Day One, was about to take the stand when the bailiff called Vonni's name. The room went quiet. You could hear the creak of his shoes on the polished floor as he walked up, hands shaking just a little, eyes darting around like he was searching for a way out. Durk leaned forward, staring, hoping against hope that this was all a misunderstanding. Fans online would later describe it as the moment history shifted, because everyone knew something heavy was about to happen. The judge swore Vonni in, and then the questions started. At first, his voice was low, almost inaudible, but then the mic picked him up clearly. Yes, I was there. Yes, I saw what happened. The gasps from the gallery were loud enough to echo. One woman in the back even shouted, "No way." Before security shushed her, Durk put his hands over his face, whispering to himself. Witnesses sitting near him claimed they heard him say, "Don't do this, bro, not you." But Vonni kept talking, every word like a dagger. He dropped names, times, and details, his words rolling out like he'd been carrying them for months. The prosecution leaned in, eating it up, while the defense slumped in their chairs, knowing the damage was already being done. The emotional weight was unbearable. Durk's lips trembled as he shook his head, and at one point his eyes welled up. A photographer caught the exact second he wiped under his eye, and that image spread like wildfire on Twitter and Instagram. Durk crying in court, the captions. "Read Vonni, broke him." Back at the OTF camp, emotions ran high. Family members were split down the middle. One cousin allegedly texted, he had no choice, they cornered him. Another fired back, "Ain't no excuse. Loyalty don't break." The family was left divided, and that division spilled straight into the fan base. Social media became a war zone. Awful supporters were devastated, tweeting things like, "This hurt more than the ops ever could," and "Vonni just killed the brand." Others tried to defend him, writing, "Y'all don't know what pressure feels like when the feds in your face." Hashtags like #FreeVonni and #OTFBetrayal trended side by side, showing just how split the culture had become. But the courtroom itself had even more drama brewing. At one point, Durk's lawyer whispered something in his ear, and Durk shook his head violently, muttering, "Nah, I can't do that." Nobody knows exactly what was said, but insiders claim the lawyer suggested walking out to avoid breaking down in front of cameras. Durk refused, choosing instead to stay and face the pain. That decision only made fans respect him more, even. As their hearts broke for what he was seeing, the defense tried to cross-examine Vonni, asking him, "Why are you saying all this now?" His answer was chilling, "Because I'm tired of carrying everybody else's sins." The whole room froze. Durk sat back, jaw tight, his face pale. That single line was replayed over and over online, with fans debating what he meant. Was Vonni implying that he'd been covering for OTF all along? Or was he simply breaking under pressure? Outside the courthouse, chaos erupted. Supporters and protesters clashed, some chanting "Free Vonni," while others screamed "Snitch." Reporters shoved microphones in faces, and one viral clip showed a fan crying real tears, saying Vonni was supposed to be solid. How could he do this to Durk? Back at the hotel later that night, insiders say Durk locked himself in his room for hours. He didn't eat, didn't talk, just stared at the wall, replaying every memory he had with Vonni. A source close to him claimed, he kept saying, "I brought him in. I gave him everything. Why me?" The pain wasn't just legal, it was personal, the kind of betrayal that cuts deeper than any diss track or street beef ever could. Meanwhile, industry reactions poured in. One Chicago rapper tweeted, "This the problem with putting fam in business. Blood don't mean loyalty." Another big name posted, "Durk too real for tears. Respect to him for standing there like a man." Fans screenshotted every reaction, adding fuel to the fire. But the twist, word started spreading that Vonni wasn't done. Allegedly, prosecutors hinted that he had more to reveal, things that hadn't even come out yet. Insiders whispered that the next session could bring up names nobody expected, possibly even exposing people outside the courtroom. Fans couldn't handle the suspense. TikToks racked up millions of views, with users role-playing what the next court day might sound like. One viral video had a fan acting out Durk flipping a table, screaming, "I gave you everything. You still folded." While another skit imagined Vonni confessing to things that shook the entire odd structure. Emotions ran high across Chicago. Some of Vonni's closest friends cut ties immediately, wiping old pictures off their socials. Others stood by him, arguing he did what he had to do. The family was left divided, some choosing loyalty to Durk, others whispering that maybe Vonni was just protecting himself after years of silence. The biggest heartbreak came when a young OTF affiliate went live, crying, saying, "We lost a brother. Today. It ain't death, but it feel like it." His live went viral, with thousands of fans tuning in, sending heart emojis and broken hearts flooding the comments by the end of the first court session. The damage was already deep. Durk's tears had become the image of betrayal. Vonni's words had shattered trust, and the entire OT legacy felt like it was hanging by a thread. Fans walked away asking themselves the same questions. Could the bond ever be repaired? Was Vonni's betrayal the end of OTF as we know it? Or was this just the beginning of a storm that would swallow everybody in its path? The morning after, the court session felt like a hurricane had ripped through the city. Every blog, every hip-hop news page, every gossip podcast had one headline plastered across the top: OTF Vonni takes the stand. Lil Durk breaks down in court. Clips from inside the courtroom were replaying non-stop. The photo of Durk wiping his eye had become a meme, and even mainstream outlets that usually ignore drill rap were running with the story. But behind closed doors, the situation was even messier. Sources close to OTF revealed that the family was in full-blown crisis mode. Some of Durk's cousins were furious at Vonni, calling him a traitor, while others were quietly admitting that maybe he had no choice. One relative allegedly shouted during a heated phone call, "He didn't just snitch, he killed us all." Another fired back, "So y'all want him to rot in prison for everybody else's mistakes?" The family was left divided, and the arguments leaked straight into social media. Fans picked sides instantly. Hashtags like hashtag Team DURK and hashtag Free Vonni clashed on Twitter, with threads running into thousands of comments. One fan wrote, "Durk built an empire for his people, and this is how they repay him." Another replied, "Stop acting like y'all would stay silent when the feds threaten you with decades. Vanny, just human." The debates were so intense, they started trending worldwide, showing just how far this story had spread. Durk himself remains silent in public, but insiders painted a different picture. Reportedly, he gathered his inner circle that night at his house. Emotions ran high as his closest friends tried to figure out how to move forward. One affiliate allegedly slammed the table, yelling, "We gotta cut him off for good, no second chances." Another calmer voice said, "But blood is blood, bro. If you exile him, that stain lasts forever." Durk just sat there, head down, mumbling. He made his choice. He chose them over me. Over me. The weight of that sentence hit everyone in the room. According to someone present, you could hear the pain in his voice. It wasn't anger, it was heartbreak. Meanwhile, fans dug deeper into Vanny's testimony. Court transcripts leaked online, showing exactly what he said, and some of it was worse than anyone thought. Not only had he confirmed certain details, but he allegedly hinted at other names too. Although the judge had silenced him before he could go further, just the implication was enough to send chills through the OTF camp. If he starts naming names, it's over, one insider whispered. Outside the family, the industry was reacting to. Rappers from Chicago to Atlanta weighed in. One posted a cryptic message, "Loyalty ain't the same no more. Watch who you trust." Another flat-out tweeted, "Durk too solid to deserve this. Prayers up." Podcasts debated whether Vonni's actions were survival or betrayal, and fans couldn't stop tuning in. And then came the first direct confrontation. According to a source, Durk's older cousin reached out to Vanny in jail, demanding answers. The conversation was tense, filled with shouting and accusations. "You embarrassed us in front of the whole world," the cousin allegedly screamed. Vonny shot back, "None of y'all know what it's like. You wasn't the one staring at. 30 years, I did what I had to do." The cousin hung up in disgust, and within hours, whispers of that phone call had leaked to the streets. Fans reacted instantly. With one viral post reading, "He chose himself over OTF." Durk crying wasn't weakness. It was the sound of trust dying. The biggest twist of part 2 came when another video surfaced online, this time from outside the courthouse. In the clip, you can hear someone who sounds eerily like Vonny talking to an associate saying, "They think I'm the only one, but wait till they see who's next." The clip was short, grainy, and hard to confirm, but it spread like wildfire. Suddenly, the speculation turned nuclear. Who else could be involved? Is he about to drag other names into the fire? The rumors got so wild that even some OTF affiliates started distancing themselves online, deleting photos with Vonny, and quietly unfollowing him. One even went live, saying, "Ain't no room for snakes. Once you fold, you dead to me." Fans flooded the comments with snake emojis, cementing the narrative that Vonny had crossed a line no one could forgive. But surprisingly, not everyone turned their back. One of Vonny's childhood friends defended him, saying, "Y'all act like y'all would die for somebody else's charges. He's still family, still OTF." That clip got traction too, sparking a whole new wave of debates. The emotional fallout hit hardest when Durk's mom allegedly called him late at night, begging him not to let this tear the family apart. No matter what he did, he's still blood, she supposedly said. Durk, according to insiders, broke down again on the phone, replying, "Blood don't feel like blood no more. Social media couldn't get enough. Fans made side-by-side edits of Durk and Vonni, showing old clips of them laughing together, then cutting to the courtroom betrayal. Captions read, "From day one's two enemies in front of the judge." These videos racked up millions of views. On TikTok and Instagram Reels, the storm only got heavier when blogs hinted at an upcoming court date where Vonni might reveal even more. One outlet reported prosecutors believe Vonni is ready to give them the final piece they need. That headline alone made OTF supporters panic, with fans tweeting things like, "He bout to bury everybody and Durk's whole empire at risk." Inside the music industry, people started whispering about whether Durk's future could be impacted. One promoter allegedly pulled back from booking him for a major festival, worried about ongoing legal drama, though nothing official was confirmed. The rumors alone sparked headlines about whether this betrayal could actually hurt Durk's career. As Part 2 wrapped up, the situation was boiling over. Family ties were breaking, fans were fighting, and the industry was holding its breath. Durk had become the face of heartbreak, Vonni the symbol of betrayal, and everyone knew the next court date could change everything. The only question was, would Vonni stop at what he'd already said, or was he preparing to drag the entire Atta family into the fire with him? The second day in court was even more chaotic than the first. Word had already spread that Vonni might reveal more names. And by the time the session began, the courthouse was swarming with reporters, fans, and even a few familiar industry faces trying to get a glimpse of the drama. Cameras flashed non-stop as Durk pulled up in a black SUV, face hidden under a hoodie, surrounded by heavy security. He didn't say a word, but the look in his eyes was enough cold. Distant, broken inside the courtroom. The energy was toxic. Whispers bounced off the walls. The press scribbled notes at lightning speed, and every seat was filled. When Vonni was called back to the stand, he looked more confident than the first day, like the weight of silence had already been lifted. That confidence, though, was exactly what made the betrayal sting even more. The prosecutor wasted no time. "Mr. Vonni, are you prepared to continue your testimony?" Vonni adjusted the mic, looked straight ahead, and said, "Yeah, it's time the truth comes out." The room gasped. Fans watching the leaked livestream clips later described it as the moment odds cracked. Durk leaned back in his chair, shaking his head, mouthing something under his breath. One reporter claimed they read his lips. "This ain't real." And then it started. Vonni dropped another name, this time an OTF affiliate who had been with Durk since the early days. The shockwave was instant. People in the gallery audibly reacted, some with shouts, others with groans. The defense team tried to object, but the damage was done. Social media lit up within minutes, the affiliate's name trending as fans screamed, "He'd taken the whole family down." But Vonni wasn't finished. He kept talking, detailing events, places, and conversations that painted a picture of Ati as more than just a music crew. "I ain't gonna be the only one paying the price," he said coldly. "Everybody want me to hold it down, but where was they when I needed them?" Durk sat frozen, fists clenched, breathing heavy. One insider in the courtroom claimed you could see a tear roll down his cheek, though others argued it was just sweat. Whatever it was, the image spread online instantly. Durk crying again while Vonni burns Ott's phone. Back at home, the family was left in shock. Durk's sister allegedly went live on Instagram, visibly angry, saying, "You don't do this to your blood. You don't. I don't care what they offer you, you keep your mouth shut." The live quickly racked up tens of thousands of views, with fans flooding the comments with heartbreak emo. Meanwhile, Vonni supporters tried to defend him, arguing he was just being honest about the life they lived. One fan posted, "He ain't snitching, he telling his story." Everybody want him to be loyal, but nobody loyal to him. That post itself went viral, sparking heated debates under every gossip blog's page. The second hearing also revealed a chilling twist. Prosecutors introduced evidence-alleged recordings of Vonni talking to associates before his arrest. In the audio, a voice that sounded like him said, "If I go down, I'm taking everyone with me." The courtroom gasped. Durk slammed his fist against his thigh, muttering angrily, while fans online replayed the leaked snippet again and again. Industry reactions exploded. One rapper tweeted, "This worse than 6ix9ine. Least he wasn't blood with them." Another chimed in, "Durk too real for this mess. Prayers for the family." Podcasts debated whether OT could survive such a massive betrayal, and some even speculated that labels might start distancing themselves to avoid the fallout. The betrayal hit harder when old videos of Vonni and Durk laughing together, calling each other brothers for life resurfaced. Fans made edits putting those clips side by side with courtroom footage. Captions reading, "From brothers to enemies in the blink of an eye." Emotions ran high, and fans admitted it felt like they were watching a tragedy unfold in real time. By the afternoon session, tensions inside the courthouse reached boiling point. One OTF affiliate in the audience allegedly shouted, "You dead to us," before being escorted out by security. Vonni looked straight ahead, unfazed, but the crack in his facade was clear. His jaw tightened, his hands shook. Outside, the streets were divided. Murals of Durk popped up overnight with captions like "Loyalty Forever," while graffiti appeared in other neighborhoods calling Vonni a snake. Chicago itself felt split down the middle, as if the betrayal wasn't just personal but cultural. Durk, still silent in public, was reportedly collapsing in private. One insider revealed he refused to record music, canceling studio sessions and telling friends, "How I'm supposed to rap about loyalty when my own blood folded." The pain was raw, and fans picked up on it, writing things like, "We ain't never heard Durk this broken before." The most shocking twist of the second day came at the very end. As the session was closing, Vonni leaned into the mic and said, "And if y'all really want the truth, I got more. Way more." The judge quickly shut him down, adjourned the court, and ordered both teams back for another day. But the damage was already done. Those words alone were enough to send fans spiraling into endless speculation. Social media caught fire instantly. "What else does Vonni have?" trended worldwide. TikTok edits imagined him naming even bigger names, with captions like, "This gonna shake the industry to its core." Podcasts predicted that the next hearing could be the final nail in ETF's coffin, and fans flooded Durk's socials begging him to respond. Inside the OTF camp, insiders say meetings turned heated. One affiliate allegedly screamed, "We can't let him finish. If he says what I think he's gonna say, it's over." Others argued for damage control, telling Durk to drop new music as a distraction. But Durk refused, reportedly saying, "I ain't finna rap my way out of this. This ain't no album rollout. This, my family." As Part 3 closed, the storm was far from over. Vonni had already torn holes in the fabric of OTF, but his chilling words, "I got more," hung over everything like a guillotine. Durk's silence only deepened the pain. The fans were divided, and the entire industry was holding its breath for the next hearing. Everyone knew the third day in court could either bury Vonni for good or drag the entire OTF legacy down with him. The third court hearing was unlike anything the city had ever seen. By now, the story had grown to big cameras from major networks camped outside. Fans lined the streets chanting Durk's name, and the tension in the air felt like a storm about to break. Police had to set up barricades just to control the crowd. Some fans held signs reading "Loyalty over everything," while others waved handmade posters that said "Free Vonni." The division was clear, and the energy was volatile. When Lil Durk arrived, the cameras zoomed in. His face was blank, expressionless, like he had built a wall around himself to survive what was coming. He wore all black, his chains tucked away. No smiles, no waves. To fans watching the live stream, it looked like he had aged years in just a few days. Vonni walked in moments later, head high, no hesitation this time. The sight alone was enough to make the courtroom murmur to men who once called each other brothers, now staring across the aisle like strangers. The prosecutor stood tall, clearing his throat. "Mr. Vonni, are you ready to continue?" Vonni leaned forward, gripping the mic. "I told y'all I had more, so let's get it out." And then, like pulling a pin from a grenade, he started dropping names. Not just affiliates, but people the public never thought would be touched. Whispers of producers, managers, even promoters tied to OTF came spilling out. "Everybody want to act like they clean," he said coldly, "but I carried all their sins. I ain't carrying 'em no more." The room exploded. Gasps, shouts, even tears from some in the audience. Durk sat frozen, jaw clenched, fists balled so tight his knuckles went white. At one point, he muttered under his breath, "You just killed us, bro. You killed us." A reporter sitting nearby swore they saw a single tear slide down his cheek. The defense tried to shut Vonni down, objecting, yelling, begging the judge to silence him, but the damage was done. The words were out, and the world had heard them. Outside, the streets erupted in chaos. Fans live-tweeted updates as fast as they came. Hashtags like #OTF finished and #Vonni exposed shot to the top of trending charts. One viral tweet read, "This ain't just snitching, this is destruction." Another said, "Durk cried because he knew it was over." The most devastating moment came when Vonni said, "Everybody wanted me to hold it down, but when I was locked up, who held me down? Nobody. Not even the ones who called me brother." He glanced toward Durk as he said it, and the tension in the room was unbearable. Fans replayed that clip over and over, some saying Vonni looked cold, others saying he looked heartbroken. Durk's breaking point came shortly after. As the judge called for a recess, Durk stood up, slammed his hand on the table, and shouted, "You was supposed to be my blood." His voice cracked, echoing through the courtroom. Guards quickly surrounded him, trying to calm him down, but fans had already caught it on their phones. That single outburst became the image of the entire saga. Durk, usually calm and composed, broken down and screaming at the cousin who betrayed him. Back at home, OTF affiliates reacted in real time. One went live on Instagram, tears in his eyes, saying, "We lost more than a brother. We lost our soul." Another posted a black screen with just one word, "Snake." The family was shattered, the camp was split, and the pain was spilling. Everywhere, industry voices weighed in too. Some rappers showed support for Durk, posting messages like, "Stay solid, bro, we riding with you." Others stayed silent, not wanting to get caught in the crossfire. A few even threw shade, hinting that maybe this was karma. Fans screenshotted every reaction, dissecting the meanings like detectives. By the end of the day, the damage was irreversible. Vonni had burned every bridge, and Durk had become the face of betrayal. The streets buzzed with rumors that Vonni might have cut a deal to shorten his sentence, but nothing was confirmed. Still, the narrative was clear. He had chosen survival over loyalty. The emotional fallout was brutal. Fans posted old clips of Durk and Vonni hugging, laughing, rapping together with captions like "This hurts more than death." Others edited videos of Durk crying in court alongside Vonni's testimony, adding dramatic music that made the tragedy feel cinematic. TikTok alone was flooded with millions of views on the saga. But amid the chaos, Durk finally broke his silence, publicly. Late at night, he posted on Twitter, "Loyalty ain't real to everybody, but I'll die with mine." The tweet went viral instantly, racking up hundreds of thousands of likes. Fans flooded the replies with broken hearts, snakes, and prayer emojis. It was short, but it said everything. Vonni, meanwhile, reportedly showed no remorse. Insiders claimed, "He told someone over the phone, 'They can hate me all they want, but I'm walking out one day. They won't.'" That single line leaked online and only deepened the division. As the trial wrapped, the legacy of OTF felt shattered. What once stood for only the family had been torn apart from the inside. Durk's tears, Vonni's cold testimony, and the family's division had turned into one of the biggest scandals in rap history. Fans said it felt bigger than music hit was betrayal on the deepest level. When the judge finally adjourned court for the last time, Durk walked out silently, head low, surrounded by his team. Vonni was escorted out the opposite door, refusing to look back. Two cousins, once brothers, now enemies, in front of the world outside. Fans screamed, cried, chanted, and filmed every second. Some shouted, "We love you, Durk," while others yelled, "Free Vonni." The split was permanent, the scars were deep, and the story was far from forgotten. As Part 4 closed, the world was left stunned. The courtroom drama had turned into a full-blown tragedy, a tale of blood, loyalty, and betrayal that fans would talk about for years. Lil Durk's tears had become iconic, OTF Vonni's name forever stained, and the culture forever changed. And that's the story, y'all. One of the wildest betrayals the culture has ever seen. Lil Durk, the face of Chicago, sitting in court wiping his eyes while his own blood. OTF Vonni sat on that stand and tore the family apart piece by piece. From the first shocking day where Vonni spoke names nobody thought he'd say, to the final breakdown where Durk slammed a table screaming, "You was supposed to be my blood." This wasn't just a trial. This was history unfolding right in front of us. The fans were shocked. The family was left divided, and the industry is still buzzing. Was this pure survival, or was it the ultimate betrayal? Did Vonni really have no choice, or did he choose the easy way out, trading loyalty for freedom? And what happens to OTF now? Can an empire built on loyalty survive when that very loyalty has been shattered on the biggest stage possible? One thing is clear: emotions ran high, trust was destroyed, and nothing will ever be the same. Durk's tears became the symbol of heartbreak, Vonni's words became the symbol of betrayal, and fans will be debating this story for years. But now, I want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Do you believe Vonni did what he had to do, or did he cross a line that can never be forgiven? Do you think Durk and OTF can bounce back from this? Or is this the beginning of the end for the family brand? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Smash that like button if you've been locked in with the story. Subscribe for more updates and breakdowns. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next bombshell. Because if this saga taught us anything, it's that in the street sand, even in the family secrets, don't stay buried forever.